Do you remember when you were a kid and the recess bell would ring? That period was certainly not merely wasted time. Rather, it served as the crucial moment when your brain actively processed and integrated what you had learned in class, and your physical body fully regained its natural sense of joy. Surprising, isn't it? Well, hello everyone. Today we're going to deeply explore and understand exactly why rest is far from being just a simple luxury, but rather the crucial and definitive moment when the metaphorical cement of your internal biology finally dries and becomes incredibly strong. If you do not know how to stop, your grand cathedral will always be a building made of sand. We've already done the hardest part. We've brought light into our cathedral. We've brought in the sheriff to restore peace. And we've cleared all the shields, the debris from the hallways. Now many of you might think, great, now it is finally the right time to run, to produce effectively, to work incredibly hard, and to truly give it your absolute all. But no, that's not how it is. So pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, because it's a secret the modern world has forgotten. The magnificent cathedral is not fully constructed, while the workers are constantly rushing back and forth. The cathedral is built at the moment when the construction work stops. Within the complex systems of our human body, there are two distinct and fundamental metabolic states. The first is the process of energy expenditure and breakdown, known as catabolism, and the second is the constructive process of growth and building, which is called anabolism. Think of it this way. During the day, while you walk, work, what you're really doing is using your cathedral for a big party. People walk around, move, the floor gets worn out, and all of that is necessary, all of that is life. However, the construction workers cannot lay any fresh new cement while people are dancing on it. They need the party to end and for everyone to quietly go home. That state of silence is anabolism. During this period of profound biological silence, the human body actively triggers a complex metabolic signaling pathway, which is scientifically known as mTOR, or the mammalian target of rapamycin protein complex. It's the master biological sensor of nutrients and energy. And when it detects that the noise has stopped and there are resources, it gives the order to make new proteins, repair collagen, and strengthen the bones. If you find yourself living in a constant state of chronic stress, this mTOR biological switch never actually activates to build or repair your body. Instead, it only ever activates for basic survival. It's the pause that allows your DNA's design to become a physical reality. And for recess to begin, we need the director of the play to give the signal. In previous videos, I talked to you about stress, that is, the sympathetic nervous system. Today I'm going to talk to you about the hero of rest, the nervous system known as the parasympathetic. Its primary chemical messenger is a specific molecule known as acetylcholine. Imagine acetylcholine as a gentle strain of soft music that slowly begins to play throughout the vast cathedral's overhead speakers. As soon as the weary soldiers and the hard-working laborers hear the signal, they immediately begin to relax, putting down their heavy tools, taking several long and deep breaths, and as a result, their hearts start to beat more slowly, calmly, and steadily than before. The neurotransmitter known as acetylcholine is what specifically regulates heart rate variability, which is commonly referred to as HRV. And even though it might seem somewhat strange or counterintuitive, we don't actually want the heart to beat steadily like a perfect metronome. That would be a clear and evident manifestation of physiological stress. What we truly want is for our heart to be remarkably adaptable and resiliently flexible, to have a distinctly harmonious and melodic musical rhythm as it beats, and to maintain a high level of acetylcholine during periods of deep and restorative biological rest. This is what allows the vagus nerve, remember our old friend we've talked about, to repair the internal organs and deeply reduce inflammation. In the absence of this chemical messenger, the body cannot receive the necessary biological signal that the war is finally over. But there is still someone truly fundamental and essential missing in this mysterious and intricate nocturnal play. Someone who only appears when everything around you is in absolute, profound silence. This is the master architect who carefully decides exactly how the entire building of your mind and body regenerates while you sleep. And here comes a key point, a truly vital piece of information which many of you might find absolutely fascinating to consider. It's yet another example of the wonder that is our body. We have a hormone called growth hormone, GH. As children, it helped us grow tall, and you probably already knew this or had at least heard about it. But please pay close attention to this fascinating fact. Did you actually know that once you finally stop being a teenager and eventually become a fully grown adult, this specific biological hormone suddenly takes on a completely different and unexpected role in your body? Its function becomes that of rebuilding. GH is like the chief architect who leaves his office, but only when there is total silence. It is responsible for burning excess fat, to convert it into repair energy, and it's also in charge of fixing calcium in the bones. But do you know when the architect comes out? It happens during the first hours of deep sleep, and pay attention to this, it only comes out if there is no sugar in your blood. If you eat dinner late or have a lot of starches and sweets, your body produces insulin. And insulin is like a security guard who locks the architect in his office. If there is insulin, there is no growth hormone, and this is a general biological principle. That's why having a late dinner, especially with pasta, rice, or sweets, is basically sabotaging the reconstruction of your own health. Cathedral. You're paying the workers, but at the same time, you're leaving the architect locked up under key. Well, it is highly probable that what you have learned today in this video won't stick in your mind until you get some rest. The brain needs a pause to convert short-term memories into long-term ones, so that the information is truly retained into long-term ones. It's as if during the day we were writing notes on a bunch of loose pieces of paper, and at the end of the day we find the desk covered in papers. Biological rest is the moment when we take each of those pieces of paper and paste them into the big book in the library of our cathedral. And within the fascinating field of neuroscience, this specific biological process has a very particular name. It is known as long-term potentiation, or simply LTP for short, and it mainly occurs in a specialized area of the human brain called the hippocampus. This region functions something like a vast central library, or a sophisticated processing hub, where it is carefully decided which specific memories are kept for the long term, and which ones are eventually lost to time. During the day, each experience leaves a very weak electrical signal between neurons. They are like notes, written in pencil, fragile, unstable, something that can be easily erased. But when the body enters that deep rest, those connections receive a second biochemical boost that physically strengthens them. The neurons create small new structures called dendritic spines. And this is not a metaphor. They are real, physical connections. They are new neural highways. Sleeping and resting is literally building yourself a solid memory. It's going from a draft to concrete. And if there is no pause, those connections are never fixed. It's like studying all day and then at night someone throws all your notes in the trash. That's why when you don't rest well, it's not just tiredness. It's that your brain hasn't been able to turn what you've experienced into permanent architecture. Adequate periods of rest effectively transform your daily lived experiences into complex neural architecture within the brain. And now that we understand that without a pause, there is no construction, the question is, how can we apply this biological break in a world that never stops? Well, I'm going to give you 4 tools that are very easy to implement. The first one, the 3-hour rule. Don't put food into the cathedral at least 3 hours before going to sleep. Let the architect, the growth hormone, come out to work. Second, try to take those short naps about 20 minutes long. They're not laziness, they're micro breaks that clear out excess adenosine, which is accumulated fatigue, and allow the brain to regain clarity. They reset the voltage of your neurons. Third, total silence. At least 10 minutes a day, sit in silence. No phone, no music, no books. Let acetylcholine flood your system because it's the lubricant for your nerves. And fourth, contact with greenery. I explained this to you in the first video of this series. The exchange of electrons with the earth stabilizes the structure. Nature is not a stage, it's the workshop where the cathedral is repaired. Learn to walk barefoot on the earth whenever you have the chance. And remember, knowing how to stop is the greatest act of personal sovereignty. The world wants you to be a machine that never stops, because machines that never stop, as we know well, break down sooner. And then they're easier to replace. But you are a magnificent and grand cathedral, and a cathedral is meticulously built to endure and last for many long centuries. Longevity isn't about running faster. It's about having the wisdom to know when to sit and admire the stained glass windows and let your body work its magic. Good. We have contemplated the reconstruction, we brought in the light, the voltage, we brought the piece of sheriff on Asterix, we cleaned the floor, the glymphatic system I told you about, and today we've let the cement dry. That is, we've paused. Now your cathedral is ready to withstand any storm. You have the energy of a young person and the wisdom of an elder. And at last you have biological dignity. If you feel that this message could help someone who is exhausted by the rush, you would do me a great favor by sharing it. Let us share this vital lesson with the entire world. That rest is truly the most incredibly powerful and essential construction tool that exists today. As I always make sure to tell you, keep moving onward, always moving onward into the future, and I will be looking forward to reading every single one of your comments below.